Hey, Shalom Markins, Rakam Kapash from James London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chadash. Want to give double honors unto their elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, Christian's truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video, and I got this article here from The Guardian, and something we talk about often, things we speak about before, but these methods of control that Esau is, pushing that there in the world right now. Calling them trials and all these types of things here. But what it really is Esau, getting used to the idea of these this new order, these new circumstances that he's creating for people, right? And in the guise of it being helpful and good and whatever, he's gonna fool many into accepting these things and not thinking nothing of it, not knowing that Esau got greater plans behind it. All right. But yeah, this is on the topic of universal basic income. All right. Which is, later is going to be linked with, CBDCs, right? Digital currency, right? And ultimately the MOTB. All right. And so, like I said, they're pumping out these programs, to make it look like, we're just seeing how things are, how people respond to it, and if the results are good, we'll do it. They're going to do it anyway, whether the results are good or not. But they'll just fudge the numbers if they need to anyway. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, so they're introducing, universal basic income, and like the word suggests, universal. Okay, it's not something that's just been implemented here. It's been implemented in other countries in the past, right? Because the idea is eventually that all these nations are going to be on that. And to begin with, it makes it sound like it's just about, we had, the regular benefit system was just for, poor people that, that couldn't work or don't earn that much money. And they're supplemented by the government. But this universal basic income is for everybody, right? This is for everybody, right? To get everybody on it, right? Everybody. Okay, which is important to Esau's plans, right? To make you dependent on him. All right. So let me just read some of this. We'll grab some scriptures, right? And it says here, universal basic income of 1,600 a month to be trialed in 2 places in England, right? It's a scheme to run for 2 years, and participants will be monitored to see what effect it has on mental and physical health, right? Because mental and physical health is an all-time fucking low, man. Let's be real, right? Everybody's fucking depressed or, got anxiety, right? Some, some shape or form, right? And, obesity is way up. Okay, health is way down, man. Even though we're supposed to be like, we're in like a fitness era now because everybody's got a gym fucking membership and whatever. But guess what? Everyone got a fucking Netflix subscribership as well. Sitting on their fucking asses, man. But yeah, health is down. Mental illness is up. All right. So, if you ain't got to worry about money, then it's, one less stress. So it's going to have an improvement on people's mentals, right? It means you ain't got to work so hard. But that's, you're going to find out that's not really what this is about, right? Because, I ran the numbers earlier on this. 1,600 a month is about 19,000 a year, right? So for you workers out there, those are you that out there that are on about 23 grand a year. After tax you'll get about 19 grand, right? Now you already know for yourselves whether that's a lot of money or not, because I'm gonna tell you that it's not really, right? But it it's all right. It'll probably get you by. But if you got like a family in that, yeah, that's probably not going to be too much. So you're gonna have to go work anyway, right? But we know jobs and stuff like that, they're becoming more of a rarity, or good ones anyway, becoming more of a rarity. You could probably already get part-time job or a low-paid job anyway. So, that's where most of you are gonna be working, because once these all these good jobs are gone, AI taking them, robots taking them, and all this kind of stuff, man. All you got left is shit like McDonald's, you know what I mean, and minimum wage jobs. And so, you know, that's where you're going to be at. That's who's going to be hiring, you know. So yeah, you know, coupled with that, it might not be so bad. But even this now, these numbers don't mean shit just because of inflation, right? What sounds like a reasonable amount of money ain't going to be a reasonable amount of money, man, in the years ahead. Okay, people's money has already been squeezed, man, and people are struggling more now than ever, you know, with their finances. So I said 1,600 sounds okay, but in the time to come, it ain't going to mean nothing. Okay, you're going to be struggling. All right? But anyway, moving on, right? Let's read some of this article. So a universal basic income of $1,600 a month is to be trialled in England for the first time in a pilot program. 30 people will be paid a lump sum without conditions each month for 2 years, right? No conditions. Not yet. No conditions yet, right? If they rolled this out and, you know, they started putting £1,600 in everybody's bank accounts, right? Because you're going to need a bank account, right? And guess what? Not everybody got a bank account. And going back to, into things that we spoke about, you know, concerning the CBDCs, right? They've got a motto they like to talk about is banking the unbanked, right? Giving everybody access to that, right? So that would have to be in play for everybody to receive this universal basic income. All right. So you see where it links up, right? But anyway, 30 people will be paid a lump sum without conditions each month for 2 years and will be observed to understand the effects on their lives. 2 places in England have been selected for the micro-pilot scheme: Central Jarrow in North East England and East Finchley in North London. I believe East Finchley is one of them small hat areas, man. You know, they get all the good shit, man. Right, it says Will Stronge, the director of research and the think tank Autonomy, which is back in the plan, said of the 1,600 figure, this is a substantial amount. Yeah, it's not really, man. You ask anybody on 23 grand right now if it's a substantial amount, they probably won't tell you that it's a substantial amount. You're trying to make it sound like these men are rich on 23 grand. No, like I said, that will support a man on his ones in a fucking studio place, right? Not a house or a flat, because you got to think of it this way, right? Rent, right? If you used to get a one bedroom in a shared accommodation, right, here, or, you know, just in outer London, it's going to cost you £600-700 a month, right? That's almost half of that money gone already, right? And I know a lot of these guys called, man, these homeowners, right, that are renting it out, right? They ain't paying for the gas and electric anymore because the gas and electric going way up, right? So you got to pay that on top of that, right? And we know they had, you know, how expensive that's got. So that's going to cost you like £200-300, maybe in that region, maybe more, you know, maybe a little bit less, whatever, right? You're taking chunks out of this money already, man. And this is before you even bought any food shopping. All right, this is for one person, but you know, remember, right? If you got a family, man. So if you're living in a 1-2 bedroom flat, house, whatever, man, your rent is upwards of £1,000, man. Plus your energy bills, plus your phone bills, plus your internet. You know, £1,600 won't last very long. Right? It's not a substantial amount. Okay, they're just talking shit. It's a fair amount, but if you're expecting people just to live off that, it's not enough. It ain't really enough, right? You know, you're gonna have to go, pick up a job, which really is no different then, right? But anyway, it says universal basic income usually covers people's basic needs, but we want to see what effect this unconditional lump sum has on people's mental and physical health, whether they choose to work or not, right? You're gonna have to work. It's not gonna be a choice, you know. At that point, it's still not gonna be a choice. You're gonna have to work. Okay, people are not happy with just the basics, you know, the basic needs, right? People want to go and do things, man. People want to own things, man. People want to drive about in the car. And that's what I say, that's about even, like that amount, you're not going to be doing none of that, right? You might not even be able to have, cable or whatever, Netflix, subscriptions or whatever, man. People want these things, man, because this is a consumer economy, as at the end of the day, and these governments want you to be consumers, but you can't consume a night on 1,600 a month. Not right now, you can't, right? So you're gonna have to work anyway. All right, got to buy your children fucking clothes to school and shit. You know what I mean? And come on, man. All right, so our society is going to require some form of basic income in the coming years. Oh, right. I read this shit, so this is we're reading it live together. Well, not really live, is it? But you know what I'm saying. Right. So our society is going to require, 100% definite needs to be. Right, and what have we been saying, beginning of our elders and apostles? Right, these things are going to come to pass. When these things were just being rumored of to begin with, man. Oh, we don't know. No, they're telling you that society is going to require some form of basic income in the coming years. Given the tumult of climate change, these are the excuses, here are the reasonings, right? Tech disruption and industrial transition that lies ahead. I'm pretty sure that's code word for job losses. Right? This is why building the evidence base and public engagement now is so important. So the ground is well prepared for national implementation. But guess what? It's a universal thing, right? The UK is not the only one that's been working on it or has worked on it, right? It's been trialed in other places already. All right? So it's something that's happening globally, right? So advocates argue that universal basic income can provide a level of economic security to everyone, which it can, right? It is seen as a potential solution to insecurity in the labor market, because even if you lose your job, it's all right. You still got your basic your basic needs covered, which is fine for now until things go up in price ever more. And then that 1,600 is not going to be enough, and whether or not the government going to give you more, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? But you're going to need more at some point. All right. So it is seen as a potential solution to insecurity in the labor market, while others say it is expensive and support should be targeted. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, it will be expensive. All right. But you, man, spend so much on all these other shit, so you might as well. Right. But like I said, things are going to crash the economy anyway. So this doesn't really matter. They'll just throw it in there to help that. Right. So last year, Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, said UBI was an idea whose time has come. As he spoke on cost of living crisis, Burnham said a universal basic income will put a solid foundation beneath everybody so that they can have a life with scrutiny and stop worrying about everything. All right, so they're using all these things, the pandemic, the climate change and war, energy prices going up and that kind of stuff. They're using these instances to back the idea forward, to implement this, because of all the instability that's being caused in the world. And there's great instability to come. And we know this because of Daniel 12:1 and other scriptures, right? But it's going to come. And they know it because, they're part of the ones being used to do it, right? So similar pilots are already underway in other countries, and have been done and have been finished, right? Pilots have been finished on other places already, right? So in Wales, the devolved government is running a scheme paying £1,600 a month for 2 years to young people leaving care. It says it will report on the outcome after the trial finishes. In 2020, more than 170 MPs and peers urged the government to introduce a universal basic income to give everyone the financial support they need to provide for themselves and their families during the CV pandemic. All right. Cleo Goodman, a co-founder of the initiative Basic Income Conversation, like I said, we're hopeful that this plan will result in the first ever basic income pilots in England. No one should ever be facing poverty. Oh, all these nice words that we're hearing, right? Because they've always cared, right? Okay. Having to choose between heating and eating, because that was a conversation that's been had a lot during this whole Russia-Ukraine crisis and energy and that kind of stuff, right? And during the pandemic because of the price and stuff, right? So and the logistics and supplies and stuff, right? So in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, because Britain's supposed to be, right? Basic income has the potential to simplify the welfare system and tackle poverty in Britain, and the welfare system here in Britain is over fucking complicated. It is messy. It is bullshit. Slow as hell. Right? So all these are things they're like, yeah, thumbs up and all of it, man. That all sounds good. Like, who's going to be against this? No, this is, yeah, great. Right? No one's going to turn down this. This makes sense. Of course it does. That's what Esau wants you to think. It says a control group will be recruited and not paid the basic income to monitor their experiences during the same period. All right. So participants will be randomly selected for a pool of volunteers with 20% of places allocated to people with disabilities. Strong said, all the evidence shows that it would directly alleviate poverty and boost millions of people's well-being. It probably will. Because people are damn bad. All right. The potential benefits are just too large to ignore. Yeah, fuck the cost. Is basically what they're saying. That the benefits is too large. They didn't care before, right? But there's an agenda for it. The benefits is not talking about your benefits per se. There's greater benefits for them in the long run. Well, medium term, whatever you want to call it, right? Because they're going to have you in a fucking trick bag. Okay, they're going to have you in a corner somewhere. Right? They're going to be reliant on this. Okay, they're no longer going to be quote-unquote self-sufficient. All right, and when shit hits the fan in these countries, there's nowhere else to turn. Right? There's going to be nothing. So you're going to turn to your governments and be begging them to provide you with the aid. But where there's no conditions at this moment in time for these payments or whatever, there will be conditions. And again, we keep telling you, man, these conditions will be that you have to be signed up, to the new system. Okay, these CBDC, the digital currency, man. All right, that is going to be what the requirement. You're going to have to take the CHIP, MOTB. All right. So yeah, the potential benefits are just too large to ignore, with the decades ahead set to be full of economic shocks. See, they already know, like we already knew, but the rest of the people didn't know. They didn't know. The man was talking about going back to normal during the pandemic, but they already knew you weren't going back to normal. They knew, and we knew, right? This is set to be full of economic shocks due to climate change and new forms of automation. Well, if it's that much of a problem, just stop automation. Just stop doing it, Shut down, just get rid of all the robots and the AIs, right? Stop developing those and just put people back to work, innit? But no, because companies have got to make more money, right? Can't affect them profits, man. All right, so basic income is going to be a crucial part of securing livelihoods in the future, right? So they've decided, man. This trial don't mean shit. They decided that it's gonna go ahead, right? But obviously, it sounds good. It sounds good to the majority of people, because a lot of people are not even earning 19 grand. So they're gonna be happy. They're gonna be happy, right? But the threat the outcome of this is your dependency on the governments now, right? Because most of you are not gonna be able to make money like you would like to, right? To really sustain yourself properly. Okay, you're gonna be given the bare minimum, right? WEF is out here telling people, man, you're not gonna own anything. You're gonna be given the bare minimum. All right, and you're gonna have to deal with that, man. You're gonna have to be content with that. They want to put you in poverty. They want to put you in dependency. All right, and they're gonna put you in a system where you can't get out of, right? But anyway, let's get the scriptures now, right? All right, so it's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. So therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, right? And this is speaking primarily about Israel, but he saw looking at eyeing up the whole world, to do this to them, really. Pardon me. All right, so in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, because you're not going to have anything. All you're going to have is this basic income coming in, okay? Your rations coming in through these digital currencies. Because right now, like, you could do universal basic income now, man, and you know, you get money put into your bank account or whatever, and you can do what you want with it, right? You can go draw out the money and or use your card, use it online. I say draw cash out and use cash and shit. You can do whatever you want with it, right? But when it goes over to digital currency, CBDCs, man, this is programmable money we're talking about. Like, it don't have the same. You can make it form and function in any way you want it to, right? You can put restrictions on it. So whereas there's no conditions and no control right now over what is done with that money, it can be, right? I mean, when you guys were getting that CV money, you know, when Biden was handing that free money, you joke out there going buying fucking Nikes and shit, man. That wasn't what it was for, but you know, fine, whatever. You know, they wanted to boost the economy, right? We had the help eat out to help out shit to boost the economy and all this stuff, right? But when it goes over to digital currencies, man, they can control exactly what you use that for. You know? And so there's no wiggle room, man, right? You don't understand that this system that's being implemented is, you know, it's here to dictate to you what you can and can't do. All right. So it said, the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, because they're gonna have everything and you ain't gonna have nothing. So you're gonna go begging to them, right? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Control. Right? Control. That's what he's asserting over people by doing these things. And like I said, it sounds good on the outside of it. All the reasons he's giving sounds good. But he ain't letting you know the real reasons why he wants to do this. He wants to gain greater control. Right? It says, he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right? And I say, he's going to have everybody serving out of the palm of his hand, you know? And this is why we got these scriptures like this from Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped the looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith, right? So we've been telling you that this guy's the devil and he's got secret agendas that he ain't trying to really have you know about. Even though even though it's there to be seen, if you're looking hard enough, man, you know, these people are in darkness, man. They don't see it. They don't think the world is that bad. The world, it couldn't possibly be that evil. But yeah, we got these Edomites in rulership, and yes, they are that evil. Right, but you're gonna find out, right? But we already know this because the scripture tells us, right? It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh a wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him and he sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. Enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, right? So he's gonna tell you all the good things. He ain't gonna really focus on the negative side of things, man. You know, you ask these politicians these types of questions, man, they be deflecting all day fucking long, man. Okay, they be weaving and dodging like Mayweather. All right, they ain't trying to focus on that. All these things that they could be, they'll just, you know, brush it off. Oh, you know, call you conspiracy theories and you know, crazy people. You know what I'm saying? It says, and he speaks sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined if he had to throw thee into a pit, right? So he told you one thing, but he's thinking another thing. And we're here bringing out things that he thinks about, the things that he's actually trying to do. All right? So he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, he shall undermine thee. Right? So he's telling you about all this economic woes and shit that's going to be going on moving forward, right? But he's the one, you know, he's the one orchestrating the stuff. right? And so he's going to put forth solutions to help, right? But it's false pretense, man. He don't really want to help you. He want to funnel you in, man. He want to herd you like the sheep that you people are into this fucking trap, into the snare that he's building. All right? Because you're thinking that you're going to him for help. No, you're going to him to be ensnared. You know? So he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Once he's got you, man, you're going to see. Once he's got you, you're going to see what this guy is really like. What these Edomites are really like, man. Because right now he's playing the game. You know? He's managing his image. You know, with the peoples of the world. So he's playing the game. He's the devil after all, man. His skill is in deceit. In lies. Right? So he's playing that game. In Psalm 55 verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. This man is waging war, man. Okay? That's why we're locked into this war. We're locked in a spiritual war right now. And, you know, people are just not aware. They don't know. That's why they're being taken advantage of. They don't understand that they're locked in a war. That's why they think, you know, it's party and you know, sing and dance time, man. Forget about your worries type shit. Man should be on fucking point, you know, watching the enemy's moves. But nah, they're unawares, man. They're unawares. They're unawares of what's about to happen. Because they ain't watching. Right? They're too caught up with fucking Netflix and stuff, man. You know, all these bread and circuses that Esau's provided them in this world to distract them. So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right? So let's say Esau's going to get credit, you know, that he's trying to help people. He's trying to take people out of poverty, right? And they want people to have everything, all their basic needs met. So they don't have to choose between eating and heating and all this stuff that we have problems with in the first world country. Right? You should never have problems in the first world country like that, man. But yet we do. Right? America's the same. Right? And that's supposed to be the pinnacle. Right? So these ideas sound good. Like any you know, normal person would say, yeah, man, this should be implemented. Makes all the sense in the world to protect people. Yeah, of course it does. But that's what Esau's banking on. Because this stuff is not here to protect us, man. Ultimately, he's going to get people destroyed. All right. This is Genesis 47 verse 18. And when the year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord how that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread. It's like, yeah, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. Right? So going back to the want of all things, right? Esau's going to put you in this position because the world is going to get more messed up. Right? We always reference Daniel 12:1, right? A time like no other since there was a nation on the earth, a time of trouble, right? So things are going to get worse. You are going to need some sort of help, no doubt. Right? But not the type of help that Esau wants to give you. Okay? The help that we need, we as Israelites, right, is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's what we need. Right? Yeah, money might help, you know, a little way, you know, but what Esau's going to require of you, man, is to take that MOTB to have access or get access to this, you know, money or credit or you know, this rationing system that he's going to implement. Right? Because people are going to be starving. People are going to be wanting food. People are not going to be able to get hold of food for one reason or another. Whether their money's not worth shit no more because money's just, you know, falling out the fucking bottom. Ain't worth shit no more. Or it just stops being accepted. You know? And that it has to be digital payments now. That's why the CBDCs are being developed, and these new services, right? So for whatever reason that it is, he's going to have you take the MOTB to have access to it. All right? And these people, you're going to jump on it because you ain't going to not want to eat. Right? So this is Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small, all, universal, all. Right? That's why it's not a pilot that's just running in the UK. There's been pilots in other countries in the world. They're all planning to implement them at some point. And if he's got everybody dependent on these payments, because you ain't bringing in enough money by yourself, because all these jobs are going to go, and you can't get employed, or you can't earn the money that you need to provide for your family or whatever, right? You're going to have to beg, jump through the hoops required to get this money. And that's it. When Esau tells you, oh, well, cash is done now. The economy's collapse is done. It's finished. Right? But we're going to move on to the digital pound or the digital dollar or whatever. You're going to be like, fuck, I need to get on that. So yeah, here's your form, right? Here's your chip, right? And that's how you're gonna get delivered your credits or your rations or whatever, man. So it's gonna cause all to dip because you're all stuck in that same position, man. With no options. Well, no obvious options. Let me say it that. All right. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right, so that's where it's going to go. Okay, primarily in your hand and your forehead. Okay, and no man might buy or sell. So there's going to be no transactions going on without this mark, which is the CHIP. Okay, something that's going to be inserted into your flesh. Okay. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, you're going to have that. So once he's got you all in that situation with the universal basic, right, he could easily move you on to this, man, because you haven't got any other options now. Okay, and you've been used to getting this government aid. Right, and like I said, they're going to continue offering it, but there's going to be conditions now. Where there was no conditions before, there's conditions now. This is what you're going to have to do to receive this. And that makes me think about also, we had that emergency alert thing going on in the UK a little while ago, where they kind of push through an alert on your phone, and you have to acknowledge it, right? Or you can't use the functions on your phone, right? Because what it's there for is to supposedly give you important information in times of crises and whatever, to give you information, direction to what to do in that time. Well, guess what? In that time, you're gonna be giving directions to your nearest fucking C-hipping station, man, to get jabbed up, right? And take and get your get signed up, man, to get integrated, right? That's you're gonna get those messages, man. Oh, your nearest branch is such and such. Go here, receive the whatever they're gonna call it, and you can get fed. That's it. That's what they're gonna do. Right. I'm gonna close out with this. Is Isaiah 30 verse 1 says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that take cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." Right. So in that time, you're going to be doing what Esau's telling you to do, man. And everybody else is going to be on the same thing. So you're going to be like on it together. And no, not all, but most of you. Some are going to resist. Some of us know out here outside the Israelites that, know what's up, concerning this CHIP. But, You're not going to consult the Lord. And this is going to be the biggest issue for people, man. Our people, right? Is that we're not consulting what the Lord said. Right? The Lord has told us strictly not to receive this mark. Right? Otherwise, it's 100% death, man. 100% destruction. Right? You read that in the Revelation chapter 14, right? 100% destruction. Right? So we have to do all that we can to avoid that. You know? And only the Lord, if he's working with you, man, will have you to avoid that. If you're of the elect, he's going to have you saved, you know, and not take that. Whether you die in the process, that's a whole different matter. But if you're the Lord's elect, okay, you ain't going to be given that C-hip, man. No way, no how. Okay, you're not going to be in that sort of position. All right? But this is what I mean. We understand the will of the Lord. So we know we've taken counsel of the Lord. And we don't intend to take none of this, man. If he still wants to give me some free money, you go ahead. I ain't going to tell him no. But as soon as he starts trying to push, you know, he going to take away something that he gave you. And, you know, the only way you can get it back is if you take the C-hip. Hey, when it's getting to that territory, man can shove the chip up his own ass, man. Yeah, that's what we're going to say. We're out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's whatever, man. But we know not to take that. All right? And like I said, the Lord is dealing with us, man. We won't. Okay, Lord willing, right? So, verse 2 says that walked down to go into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? To trust in Esau, in his system, okay, in his oppression, because that's what it really is, oppression. Like I say, he looks to put a yoke of iron on their necks, man. Just that it's not made of iron now; it's a digital yoke that he's planning, man, but with greater restrictions. He's really going to have you by the balls, man. You know? And it's going to take very little management, man. Like I say, he's got his AI up and running, man, to monitor you and watch you all day fucking long, man. And you physically can't do shit without him knowing. Without his approval. You know, without his authorization. You can't be in certain places. Hell, you know, them 15-minute cities, you can't even go outside the city. You can't leave 15 minutes outside your house, man. Esau looking to put the ultimate yoke on you, man, on the whole world. All right? But, you know, you people are going to trust in that because that's the only way you think you're going to get out of the predicament that you're in. Okay, but we know we're telling you, or telling our people, that it's not the only way. Well, actually, that is not the way. Because there is only one way, and that's not it. Okay, that ain't the way. Okay, the only way is through Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's what we're here telling and teaching people, man. Okay, because that day is coming soon, man, and people are gonna have to make those difficult choices, man. But like I said, these are life and death choices. People are gonna have to be making, and by the sounds of things, these other camps are not prepared. They're not really prepared, man. Or they're gonna make the wrong choice. You know. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go work. So, but yeah, just an update on this whole universal basic income situation. And we're gonna keep telling you, you know, what's going on with it, where it's gonna end up, and how it all plays in to the NWO and the MOTB. Okay, we're gonna do all those things, man, that we're supposed to. So yeah, anyway, till next time, I'll say shalom, I hope this is edifying, and I'll catch you on the next video. So shalom.